Hey everybody, I hope you are having a great day. If you recall, I made a previous video of the Mobius Machine showing off some of the early parts of the game. I finally completed it and I'm able to have more in-depth thoughts. But don't worry, as I won't spoil anything. The game just released and I don't want to take away your experience with it. There's a lot that this game does right and it stays faithful to the genre. Excited to share my thoughts on this one. Let's get into it. For those that did not watch my previous video, the Mobius Machine, developed by Madruga Works, is a side-scroller action-adventure with an emphasis on free-form exploration and intense combat. Discover a vast alien world, fight the ferocious local fauna and killer machines, reveal its secrets, and find a way to escape. On Steam, this has the tag of Metroidvania, but this is far more into the Metroid aspects. Not really any Vania to be found here. Your unnamed character is covered and has a weapon that has different modules that can be equipped. You start off with the standard assault module, but you will get things like a shotgun or scatter, sniper, and even a mortar later on. What is nice is that you will be able to use all weapons at once. You can keep your main weapon on the right trigger and the rest will be on the left trigger. The D-pad is used quickly to swap between each weapon on your secondary. You can aim in all directions, and if you left the left stick in the direction that you're aiming, it will stick in that same spot, allowing you to jump and dodge around the enemy to take them out. Each enemy you defeat will provide you with an amount of scrap and energy. Scrap is used to upgrade your equipment and even unlock new areas at certain points. Energy is used for one of my favorite mechanics. You do have the ability to heal at any point and that will use energy, but you can also use energy to overload your gun to shoot for more damage. This means that there is a delicate balance of healing to more damage. I honestly used energy for healing more than overload because I felt like healing was more essential. Enemies are aggressive and will keep you on your toes at all times. Not to mention the damage is actually pretty high, so health was always a priority for me. The only times where I really used overload was during some boss fights or some mini bosses because they were basically bullet sponges, but those were few and far between. By the way, if you die, you will leave behind a portion of scrap that you can come back to later, a little Souls-like mechanic sprinkled in. But keep in mind that this is only in the standard difficulty. The retro mode does not have this at all. Just like any good Metroidvania, you do get more abilities to help with you moving around this vast area. These are a bit unique to your kit and unique to this game in general. You get access to your thruster that gives you a dash. It's kind of funny to look as your character kind of slides around on his butt to move around, but you will eventually get a more upgraded one that will allow you to travel farther distances, and a couple of pickaxes to scale walls, but my favorite by far was the weighted belt that allow you to swim underwater. I love this one because it opened up the world in a major way. That's a nice segue into talking about the environment. This is a huge interconnected world with no loading screens when you transition from one area to the next. Each sector of the map has its own unique color palette and theme. The backgrounds were incredibly impressive as you see massive looking Metroid-like creatures that float in the distance, to destroyed ships in a graveyard to a huge industrial mining rig. As noted above, going underwater opened up this world in a big way. It was equally impressive and had its own dangers. The devs really took their time building out each sector and connecting it in a smart way. It also helps that there are a lot of shortcuts and save points in these pods that also regenerate your health. You will also get the ability to teleport between sectors in the, wait for it, Mobius Machine. I think it's more called the Mobius Network, but it's a machine used in the Mobius Network, hence the Mobius Machine. So it's very on the nose, but I loved it. You are free to explore and roam around as you see fit, but sometimes it felt a little bit tough to backtrack to a previous spot if you are super far away. But if you get lost, you can make markers on your map to make sure you are going in the right direction. The music is very dark and atmospheric and it fits the mood of each sector. It will swell and go down based on where you are and where you're going, and it is a good indication of progress. The music hits its stride during boss fights, which is nice as the boss fights do serve as a final challenge for each sector and brings to it all the various enemy abilities. Reminds me of old school platformers where the bosses are essentially the final exam. As I write this, all I think about is the good parts and there's not much to gripe about. I do wish that the blueprints of each weapon and tools that you get later on were not as spread out and harder to reach. You do need 3 fragments of each blueprint in order to unlock it and even to upgrade it. I felt like I was stuck on the same weapon and stats for a long time, and it did frustrate me at times. That did change as I explored more, but I would maybe put these closer together. I'm not sure how speedrunners could figure it all out, but I'm sure someone will do it eventually. I'm sure someone has done it even as I speak. So should you buy the Mobius Machine? Absolutely. If you love a good Metroid-inspired game with freedom of exploration, challenging combat, and immersive environments, this is a game for you. You'll get a good 15 plus hours if you try to search for everything, but there are achievements for completing the game in under 6 hours. I hope that many people find this game well and that the devs see much success from it. Have you played the Mobius Machine yet? If you have, what did you think of it, or are you still going through it? If you haven't yet, will you after watching this review? In either case, let me know in the comments, and while you are down there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more indie game reviews, LPs, and more. I'm excited to be back because I was off for a week because I was sick, but I got more content coming down in the future, so stay tuned for more of that. My name is Chike, and I will see you next time. Bye.